Oh man. So apparently my goat of work-life balance was paid 28 million back in 2019 to do absolutely nothing. Man, we could all aspire to be like Kawhi Leonard, really, especially in this economy. Groceries are up, rent is up. The only thing that's not going up is wages, at least for the normal people, you know. But Kawhi, man, he got to figure it out. So I read in Reddit a few days ago that there was a report by Pablo Torre that stated that there was this company by set up by Steve Ballmer, the owner of the Clippers, that was supposed to do some type of planting of the trees to offset the carbon footprint, but they never did any of that, really. They never did any of that. So the only thing that it did was guarantee that Kawhi Leonard was going to sign for the Clippers. But I want to know who made this deal. Was it Kawhi's uncle? Was it somebody else? His agency? Long story short, though, I want to end on that type of deal, to be honest. But all jokes aside, I think Kawhi and Steve Ballmer, they should be investigated because it is making a mockery of the game of basketball. At least the NBA rules as they stand. Because one thing I do respect about NBA though, which is kind of weird when you think about it, is the fact that you know everybody's salary. Well, at least the players anyway. You know the player's salary, and nobody thinks it's weird because here, at least in the U.S., in corporate America, apparently you cannot ask a man his salary, which is really weird in my opinion anyway. But everybody knows all NBA players' salary. I mean, you ask me, I think it's a little bit weird that some players are making 25 million a year, but hey, sweet gig if you can get it. I'm not hating. I just think it's a little bit weird, me personally. I think that's something that they should implement in association football, aka soccer, because that's something that happens all the time, right? You give a signing bonus. That's what it's called, actually. You give a signing bonus to a player when they're transferring on a free in order for them to sign for your team and not the other team. However, it gets a little bit, gray area. It gets a little bit murky when it comes to that because, for instance, something similar happened to Real Madrid, I think a year ago actually, because they signed Kylian Mbappe to, I forgot the length of the deal, but they've been saying they're gonna be signing him for the past 7 years. It's been an ongoing thing. Anyway, so they signed Mbappe, right, on a free. But when we say free in association football or soccer, I don't like to call it soccer, but anyway, when we say you're signing somebody on a free, it doesn't mean that no money is being spent by the club, right? It means that the transfer is free in the sense that you're free to choose whoever you want if you're the player. There's no transfer fee between two clubs. The negotiation is just between a player and another club that they want to potentially go to. So the thing that they do is that they give money to that player and often the agent in exchange for signing for your club, right? And it's totally legal, by the way. But I don't think, as far as I know, maybe I could be wrong, is not something that's done in the NBA, right? So I think Steve Ballmer and Kawhi Leonard, yeah, they should be, you know, looked into for that. And besides that, though, I think it's a little bit funny because the experiment never even ended up working for them anyway. I think the best chance that they got was 2020, somewhat ironically. And now, what is this, five, maybe, no, 6 years later, it ended up being that SGA, the player that they ended up trading, got a ring before them. So that's, some type of karma, if you believe in that, from the basketball gods. But yeah, I think it's a little bit ironic that that ended up happening. So anyway, though, that's it for me.